Caution. This podcast is designed for mature audiences. We delve into topics surrounding sexuality and intimate relationships in a candid and open manner. Please note that we are not licensed marriage or sex therapists, and the content shared here is intended solely for entertainment and informational purposes. If you are under 18 years old or prefer not to engage in explicit discussions about sex, relationships, or mature language, we advise against proceeding further. However, if you're of legal age and comfortable with such content, feel free to settle in, grab a beverage, and enjoy this episode. Just remember, time flies when you're having fun. Oh, and the stories you are about to hear are true. The names have been changed to protect the guilty.
Welcome to Beyond Monogamy, where every episode is a journey of discovery, liberation, and endless possibility. Join your hosts Roger Johnson and Janet Valentine as they peel back the layers of convention, inviting you into a world where passion knows no boundaries. Beyond Monogamy, a podcast that transcends the traditional norms of relationships to uncover the raw, unfiltered stories about the lifestyle. And now, your hosts, Roger Johnson and Janet Valentine.
We're back in the saddle again, this time with another special guest. I can't wait. I've been waiting, and I had a great time with him last weekend. Anyway, welcome to Beyond Monogamy, the podcast. I'm Janet Valentine.
I'm Roger Johnson.
I'm Barbie. Tripoli, baby.
And I'm Steve.
And our special guest can introduce himself. We'll do our normal stuff, and then we'll learn more about him. Who are you today?
I'm Diablo.
Diablo.
And
Diablo's a bluefish. We'll get to where he came from in a minute. We're going to hit our normal segments. For all of you listening, if this is your first time, welcome. If you're returning fly on the wall, happy to have you. Our segments go. We're going to talk about the lifestyle. We start with the lifestyle word. We also do the lifestyle music, what to play or what not to play, and also the news story. And I'm going to start because I'm the queen boss and I have the word. The word is bangover. Bangover.
Bang.
Do you know what a bangover is? Anybody got a guess? And Diablo, you can't guess because you know Diablo, so you can't guess yet.
Oh, I got to guess, and I think I'm going to nail this.
Okay, do it.
Right
Oh,
go. Pun intended. That's when we were going to hook up, but something screwed it up. So we got to meet again for a bangover.
Oh, that's a good answer, but not right. Anyway, Barbie, what do you say?
I was thinking, like, everybody comes over and then we all spend the night somewhere. So it's a bang sleepover.
Oh, that's another good idea.
That's a better one.
Steve, you got a guess?
We used to do that at your house.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it's like being fuck drunk. You got a bangover.
No, you're almost there. So bangover is, I said at the party this last weekend, because after I had fucked 4 people and one guy for over an hour. It was so fun. And I said, it's going to be a sore pussy Sunday. And this particular guy likes to have his nipples pinched. And I like to have my nipples pinched. So I was like, my titties are going to be sore on Sunday and I'm going to feel them. And my pussy's going to be sore on Sunday. I think it's going to be a sore pussy Sunday. He goes, oh, no, that's not a sore pussy Sunday. That's a bangover.
Oh,
like a hangover, but
hangover.
Bangover.
yeah.
I've got a bangover, you guys. Sunday, I had a bangover.
That's
Yes,
good.
you did. And I witnessed all of it.
Yes, you did. You witnessed all of it. Okay.
What music are we going to talk about?
Diablo's got one.
Have you ever heard the song, the Whisper Song by the Yin Yang Twins? And his tagline on there is, "Where do you see my dick?" It's kind of a rap music, but look it up. It's a pretty good music to play at a party.
Where do you see my dick?
I love it.
He's a black guy, so he's probably pretty good size.
I'm sure. Well,
I just brought the video up. He's like leaning over, whispering in a girl's ear. This is going to be a good one.
Yeah.
To it.
It's got a good beat to it, and
Okay.
it's a good one.
A good beat both ways. Okay.
Yeah.
Pun intended.
Yeah.
And Roger, you got a story, right?
Oh, what's new in the news?
What's new in the news?
What is
Sex
new
news.
in the news?
Sex news.
Sex news.
So let me lead into this. What would you say is the opposite of Florida man? I'm like, if he's not in Florida, where's he from? Where's his twin brother live? What state?
You mean like
Alaska?
the complete
The
opposite of Florida
opposite
man?
is Alaska man.
No, like
Utah.
like equal,
Utah.
like the
Utah.
Florida man's a lunatic. Where is his twin lunatic brother?
Utah. Sorry.
Well, it depends on his monetary. If he's poor, we're talking Kentucky. Okay. And if he's rich, we're talking California or Hawaii.
Well, this week he's in Texas.
All right. Hot damn.
So a Texas man made the news, and I'm trying to find more of the story. I can't find more of the story. Texas man arrested trying to rescue thick Latinas from an ICE detention facility.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, I want to send him I want to send him a care package. He's just in Texas doing the Lord's work for all of us guys. And the man deserves a care package. If I can find more on this, I'm sending
that's fabulous.
Okay.
That's this week's news.
That's this week's news.
That's a good one.
So for all those, our special guest this week is Diablo. Now I'm gonna give you some context. He is a bluefish that I have known for 1 or 2 years. He is actually a bluefish that I'm currently in my area. Okay, so he gets invited to the parties that I go to when I come out of retirement. Which was last weekend. Very nice little party, my kind of style. We're talking about 6 couples, maybe 8 couples, which means lots of interaction and everybody gets along. And there were no piddlers. There was no sparkle ponies. Everybody who was playing was fucking, and all mattresses and the massage table were all full of people. It was a lot of fun. At which time Diablo says, I really like your podcast. And he says, I really like your podcast. I like listening to it. You guys are all good storytellers. And at which point I say, you're a really good one, especially because he has some context. That question that we had a couple of episodes ago about how do I become a bluefish, and especially if my wife can't play anymore, but I want to get in the lifestyle and I want to do this. I don't want to hurt her. What's the right way to do it? That question seems to be a continuing one. This one here, we can give some personal context. So I'm going to stop talking and let Diablo talk to you about questions. Roger, you go ahead and ask him the questions you were dying to ask him early.
I'm gonna I'm gonna start by saying, I mean, yeah, I look at these good parties like a sporting event, and if and I've told D, is what I really need is like a robe like Ric Flair had at one time, and if I was gonna put anything on the back, I mean, Diablo would be in the top 3. So I commend you for that.
Yeah, we come up with several. Diablo's one of I like the best. So,
one thing that kind of led us into this is Dee and I, we would go to parties as a couple, and Janet can kind of fill you in on the rest of the details, but there was a time she was deployed for work and deployed like out of state, and coincidentally ended up in Janet's area, and so we had it worked out. This was going to be an extended time, and like, hey, we both have this appetite, and it can't go unquenched. So I'm good with you going to parties, and I'll tag up with Janet. She messaged me about a party, and so the recap. I tried taking a couple unicorns one time, and I was just like, oh God, fuck this. I don't have these problems. The problem wasn't at the party. Is a little leading up, a lot more
There is a
apprehension.
reason they're a unicorn. I'll just say that again.
Yeah,
There is a
yeah,
reason they're a
yeah,
unicorn because,
That's sad but true.
and it's
yeah.
usually mean bitch psychological.
You can't help to love them anyway. So when I was able to get away from that, the host was like, "Hey, I've been needing there's a couples only party, but I've been needing a door guy. And, a lot of people know you, they know her, but that's the first time I experienced kind of the whole bluefish side of the game, and where I thought, yeah, that'll be great. All the couples know me. There were a lot of couples that it just didn't skip a beat. Hey, how's D? How's D? And she's doing great. And a couple were like, so how long's she going to be gone? And in a different tone, completely different posture. And I'm like, here we go. Didn't see this coming, especially from this couple. They're like, well, she knows you're here, and I'm like, yep, it's already all prearranged. She's actually at a party tonight herself, and like, oh, well, maybe we can get together when she gets back. And I'm just like, wow, all right.
Rude. That's rude.
So so how I guess let's lead in talking about just kind of how your experience was leading in, how well you were kind of accepted or how quick, and let's see where we get.
Well, I'm it. I haven't always been a bluefish. My wife, we were in a lifestyle for close to 30 years altogether, and recently she stopped playing for health reasons and stuff like that. So, but she allowed me to keep doing it. But I only go to this party we went to Saturday night because she knows all of them and somebody we'd played with before, so she didn't have any problem with that. So that's how I became a bluefish. But we used to have parties at house parties and stuff like that for about 4 years, and I got a bunch of stories about that. So I haven't really been a bluefish per se, because I usually have a lady that goes with me. I couldn't answer some of the stuff about how those guys, because we used to invite several of them to our parties, but like I think I heard y'all say in one of the last podcasts that they're single guys are a dime a dozen, and if the ones we would invite, we had a list of about, I don't know, 20 guys that we invite to our parties, because the ladies usually would want to have a couple of extra ones in case the ones they was playing with got broke. So wanted some spares. So that seemed to work out pretty good. But we did that for about 4 years or so, and then we met the couple that was at Saturday night, and I'll play with them for quite a while. But then she didn't want to anymore. So, but I didn't. I still wanted to, so she allowed me to. And since she knows all of them, she's not jealous or anything. And then we went through all that stuff about that full swap and soft swap and all that stuff when we first started. We didn't have any reservations about anything. But I tell you that the key to it to me is when you get home, if you screw each other's brains out and tell each other what you did and who you said, I mean, who you was with, what he said, what she said, it was really hot when we get home, and that's kind of the thing that tells me
we
that
have a vocabulary word. Steve, what's the vocabulary word for that? Do you remember? Oh, Roger, want to say it?
What's Steve's? I might have a different one.
We have a vocabulary word.
I don't remember it.
Oh, it's
reclamation sex.
Well, we call it review sex.
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Let's have a review sex, reclamation sex.
That was some of the hottest stuff we
ever
did.
It is the hot, yeah.
We should talk about that, but I think we talked about it early on, where as a couple you go home as a couple and in the night as a couple, and
right,
and that was and that's when the couples have the most success in the whole lifestyle thing, like you were saying, Diablo, is you end the night and it's a safe space to talk about, where your wife's saying, oh, I saw you getting on Janet, how'd you like those titties, and like, oh, she's got great titties, but she really blew me away when she was blowing me, pun intended, and said, how about you put this in my ass? Yeah, just
Yeah.
it's gotta be a safe space to
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
celebrate your sexuality with your partner.
That's right.
I feel bad for people that don't have that.
It
Yep.
I was always curious that people invited to parties that how they got started, who brought it up, how did that conversation go when they first started, and there was a whole bunch of couples that it took them like a year to talk their wife or girlfriend into it, But once they did, and she saw it's pretty safe environment from that standpoint, he created a Frankenstein. Nobody was
Help
interested.
me.
Nobody was interested in him. Everybody was interested in the woman, So
Yeah.
it wasn't quite like he thought it was going to be when he brought
Yep.
this stuff up.
Now, I will tell you that Saturday night, when the fucking was done and we were taking a big deep breath and we were listening to some music laying there, Diablo told me a story that I told him he had to repeat
Oh,
to
let's
this
hear it.
podcast this evening. It has to do with Sturgis.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
One things we had done is we were playing alone, and but I had one little caveat to Miss Diablo that she had to film it when she had some guys come over. I worked out of town a lot through the years, and so she had plenty of opportunity. So she'd record most of them, but some of them she wouldn't. She'd get lazy or just didn't want to fool with it and all that stuff. So she met this guy online. I'll call him Boo, and he was pretty young. He was 28 at the time, and I think we were in our 40s or so when all this happened. And he when after they got through fooling around and all that stuff, see, they're laying there talking, and he tells her that ask her if she'd ever heard of Sturgis, and she was impressed by kind of his knowledge of sex and all that stuff, and just being 28. So he said, ask her if she'd ever heard of Sturgis. She said, yeah. It's a motorcycle rally up there, and it gets pretty wild, especially in the Buffalo Tip area. And they were there watching a concert, some heavy metal band. She couldn't remember who it was, but he sees some activity going over to the side of the stage, and so he couldn't imagine what was going on over there. So he kind of muscles his way in there, and he gets to the point where everybody's circled up, and it's his mom in there pulling the train with several guys.
Oh. Ooh.
Hey, this is a great time for a break.
Fellas, are you tired of the same old experience? Need to spice things up? Introducing Dick Dippers, the revolutionary way to bring flavor to your love life.
Oh, baby.
That's right. Just dip it, dunk it, or drizzle it in one of our mouth-watering flavors, like strawberry daiquiri for a tropical twist, pina colada for that classic sweetness, or go all in with hot fudge sundae, because who doesn't love a little extra drizzle with nuts? Made with 100% edible, body-safe ingredients, Dick Dippers are smooth, tasty, and guaranteed to make every moment delicious.
Now that's a treat I can't resist.
So why be boring when you can be dippin'? Get Dick Dippers today. Available wherever fine personal products are sold. Not responsible for excessive licking, moaning, or sudden craving for sweets. Use as directed. Satisfaction highly likely.
Now, back to the fun part of the podcast.
Oh,
You guys,
I can't imagine.
oh,
I said that would have scarred me for life.
oh, yeah. Give me the knives right now.
I mean, I can't imagine. I can't imagine my parents doing it for one thing. I figure I got it by immaculate conception, because
That's right.
they never did it.
No,
And I got a sister.
I am
So-
the worst.
let alone your mother pulling a train.
Yeah,
I am
can't
the
imagine.
worst friend ever. I
Oh.
would have ran mom jokes the whole night.
oh,
And then he tells her that she asked him when was the first time he had sex, and he said about 12. And holy moly, yeah. And she said, you have your brothers and sisters? He said, yeah, I got brothers and sisters both. He said the one that got me at 12 started was my sister. So he'd been doing his sister for a long time, but they hadn't done anything lately. But he had done her when he was like 12. Oh, but the
Did
mom
you even,
deal is
did
what
you
blows
even
me
know
away.
what you were doing, or you just knew from watching your
Yeah,
mom?
yeah.
Ooh, ooh,
And then
God.
in the icing on the cake, he said his best friend told him that he'd been doing his mom for several years, and was keeping it secret. So he said she was the
Wait.
nastiest woman he'd ever been with.
He his best friend said, "I've been doing your mom."
Yeah, yeah. When he get to be in high school or whatever, and he owns
Oh,
up to it. So this is a pretty nasty family. We just got to meet Bo. We didn't meet the rest of them.
I've wanted to live down the street from a woman like that my
Yeah,
entire
yeah,
damn
yeah,
life.
yeah. Me too.
God.
yeah.
Steve is real quiet. What are you thinking there,
Come on,
Steve?
Steve. You got something.
I have nothing.
and it,
I'm
and
just
this was
sitting
going
here
on,
taking it all in.
and this was going on during the concert. They had stopped watching the concert totally. So
Well,
can you
This
blame them?
I can kind of see
Yeah,
why.
yeah,
You can listen to the music
Hey,
and
yeah.
still
Everybody
watch.
don't.
the singer's up there going to town and like going back to the drummer during the guitar solo, going, "Hey,
Now,
why'd the circle pit turn into a line? What the
yeah,
hell's going on over there?
Oh,
I'm surprised
God.
they kept playing.
Play louder! Let's go! We're gonna play faster. They need it."
Yeah.
And I think it's pretty much anything goes in the buffalo chip. So that's probably just normal.
Oh
No,
man.
we were saying the worst thing to see here at a party was hi Uncle Ed or hi cousin
Oh,
Jan or whatever. But this is
yeah.
worse. This is like twice
Oh,
as worse.
hi,
Uh,
mom is the
that
word. Hi,
The
Hi,
mom.
mom.
that reminds me.
the
Go
I
ahead.
was, I was gonna say the mosh pit became the smash pit for mom.
Smash pit.
Speaking of
Oh,
clam
my.
jamming, clam slamming. What was last
That's
week's
right.
word? I
Clam
forget.
slamming over there.
Clam
Clam
slamming,
slamming.
clam slamming.
um, that
Man.
we were worried about when we first started this, run into somebody that we knew, and
Right.
it didn't dawn on me till later that well, if they are where you're at, then they're doing what you're doing, so they can't say nothing, and you can't say nothing. So that was kind of our out. But there was a couple of clubs here in town that were one of them was on premises, and so we go in there one night, and I hear somebody say Diablo. I look around. It's a guy I had been refereeing football with for like 15 years. Was sitting in there.
Oh,
Yes.
that's
So,
great.
what the
But
hell?
he's sitting there. Hey, that's mutual destruction because
Yeah.
he's sitting there too, right?
Yeah.
So
He said,
Flag
he
on the
can't,
play.
but he said
right?
that he said, what are you doing here? And I said, and it's a Tupperware party.
Yeah. That's right.
So that was an
It
eye
is.
opening experience.
Everybody's coming.
We got to be much better friends than we were already.
Exactly. Yeah. Once you've crossed that line, Yeah.
That was a rude awakening.
Right. So your wife, she is it medical reasons that she can't play
Pretty
anymore?
much.
Is
Yeah.
yeah.
She,
So
I hope she comes back one of these days.
right.
But I don't know because we were getting close to being semi-retired anyway, and
Right.
I kind of same way you are. I'm pretty much semi-retired. I just go see them, and that's all. I don't participate in anything else other than that.
Well, because I'll play at Kyle and Lola's, the COVID couple, and I will play there, and then there's a group about 4 hours away that I will travel to.
Yeah.
They have some pretty good parties if it can align right, and I will take a weekend and go down there, and the thing is, as just as Beauregard was saying in the other episode, this is a lifestyle family, and after a while. It's like you're going down to see your long lost family, except you're going to fuck them all.
That's
well, maybe not all of them, but hey.
So then you have a fuck party. You have a fuck party on Saturday night, and then Sunday y'all meet for breakfast brunch.
Yeah.
Well,
absolutely.
I've known a couple of couples that their kids knew and all that stuff, and man, I just can't imagine who brought that up. Who told who?
Right.
Oh
well. So, how did you and your wife originally? You said you've been doing this for 30 years. How did you originally get? Do you remember how you got into this in the very beginning?
it's another good story.
Okay.
We were she's from she's Native American, and she was from a reservation up in Washington State, and we met online, believe it or not, and hit it off really well. And so we were living separately then. We were supposed to be going kind of steady. Well, we understood steady was a different term. You know, it meant we can go fuck other people, but we didn't really say that. So we so she comes down to see me one weekend, and we had been kind of talking about the lifestyle and all that stuff, but there was some lifestyle clubs here, and we were going to go to one of them, and but we were afraid we were too fat and ugly, and nobody would talk to us. So we go to this club, and we meet, and they had a dance floor that was pretty small, but everybody was on the dance floor, and they had and this is off premises. So we're out there dancing and stuff, and they have a guy that circles the dance floor, and he's pussy control. If you get too carried away on the dance floor, he'll make you stop and get off the dance floor. Well,
pussy control.
Yeah.
Pussy Patrol. Like Paw
I had
Patrol,
the song screaming in my head.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when you get on the dance floor, though, we're out there dancing. It's just jam packed with people, and I feel somebody, grab my cojones, and I'm trying to see whose hand that is, because I didn't want a guy doing it, and it's the girl's right behind me, and so I reach back and I'm starting to play with her in front of me, and she's playing with somebody in front of her, and so we meet these two couples, and so we mess around with them some, and we're still at the stage we don't know if we can do this or not. We think we can, but we don't know if we can. So it's 2:00 now, and the club's closing, and the two girls. Is a two-tier deal. The dance floor is on the front, on the lowest tier, and the bar was up on the first tier. And when you walked up to the bar part, if you're still on the low part, your head is about even with somebody's crotch. So I'm standing there while she goes to the bathroom, and the two girls are standing there talking, and I'm just standing there listening, and they're talking about their tattoos, and one of them raises her dress up, and she got no panties on or nothing, and she says, and the other one's down there looking at her tattoo, and she looks at me and she says, "What do you think of my tattoo?" And I said, "What tattoo?" Because I was looking at her cooch. So
don't give a shit about your tattoo.
Yeah, really. Comes up about this. She says, "What's going on here?" And I said, "Nothing. We just talking." And because one got her dress pulled up, and I'm looking at it. So the guys come up and ask us if we want to go to an adult cinema. I didn't know there was any here in town, at that time. And so we said, "Yeah, sure." So we get in the car and said, "Well, are we going to follow them or go home?" So we agreed to follow them. So we go to this place, and it's a toy store on the bottom level, in a cinema on the top, and they got little rooms. It got little rooms down the hallway to go into.
Been to those too.
We go up there and go in the room with them, and I'm nervous as devil. I'm not sure what's going to happen. So she needs a Coke. So I go back downstairs to get her a Coke, and by the time I get back upstairs, go in the room, they've got her broke over, doing her, one from behind, one from the front, and the two ladies are on the bed, and not a 69, but they're on top of one another, and their butts are looking at me, and I'm thinking, man, this ain't what I had in mind. Nobody's even talking to me, and they're already fooling around in space. The time I went to get a Coke, so eventually one of the girls points at me and points at her butt and says, "Come over here." So I do, and we get in several combinations of that for several meetings, and she's over there fooling with them, and so that's how we got in the lifestyle. It was wide open from day one.
Yeah. That's right.
So
that's the way.
And they were young. They were in their 20s or so. We were in our 40s or so, and they give up way before we did. They went home, left us there. I said, "I guess we got to go." Oh, and the rest of that story, she has to go catch a flight the next morning at like 8:30 or so, and so I got to get her to the airport at like at 7:30 or so, and it's like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. So we get home in time to take a little nap, and shower and get to the airport. Well, on the way we get to fooling around, so I find a spot out there at the airport and do her again before she leaves on the plane. And I wanted something running out of her. It's a reminder of me. So.
Woo, that's
Something running
fantastic.
out of her.
And that's why we call him Diablo.
Yes.
Oh, that was hilarious.
Bravo. That's a good one.
So
that was our introduction to it.
That's pretty good.
Your story sparked a couple of like long time fantasies, just like on a kind of a list of them. And we'll go with the airport one first. It's kind of simpler, but now they have these like breastfeeding pods.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I go in there and watch.
I like it from the tap once in a while. I mean, what if I just waited in there? How weird is that?
That would be pretty weird.
But anyway, I want to just like, hey, shoot, our flight got delayed. Let's go hit the pod.
Not as weird as watching your mother pull a train.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean,
we'll jump to that pod when your mom's done. Anyway, you gotta understand, we throw mom jokes all day at work anyway. The second fantasy, and I'm as dumb as it sounds, I'm kind of serious. Do they have parties on reservations?
No, not that we know of. Not this one anyway. I'm sure they do someplace, but not.
Are we talking like teepees and woo wooing? Is that what you're looking for? Or just looking for all of the same ethnicity?
Much simpler.
Just the Native Americans.
I have a massive Pocahontas fantasy.
Oh, he's on for Pocahontas.
It's kind of on the list of long shots that are likely to never happen.
You should have met Miss Diablo.
Is it as bad as Steve's midget one, where you're going to seek it out? Because like he's going to the midget party.
Yes, there'll be a point where Dee and I hit the road, and we're just going to go in a circle around Arizona, New Mexico, that southwest corner of Colorado until.
Well, they're everywhere, There's Northwest Indians and Northeast Indians and Plains Indians. All I've ever been around is Plains Indians.
We're just going to hit all the casinos.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what else to do.
Now, Janet, you and I played with an Indian.
Yes, we did.
Huh? Do what?
Just reminding her that we could mark that off, a Native American.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, I played with an Indian from India, and then we that little guy, and then we played with that Native American guy.
Well, that's a casino or convenience store.
Yeah.
There you go. God, I was gonna say it.
Or a dot in the head.
Oh, it's so funny.
Oh, feather or dot?
Casino or 7-Eleven. So bad. I feel bad for that.
Yeah.
Well, kink shame you for that one, Roger.
I deserve it.
That was bad. Yeah.
Totally
let me see if I can redeem it with something dumb.
Okay.
Take 2 seconds. A little while back, Dee had me spit in one of them tubes. You send off in the mail.
me or whatever. Yeah.
But it came back.
Did you have?
It came
children?
Back.
You're related to John Holmes. He's related to John Holmes.
We didn't pay for the membership. I only got the initial result. It said, turns out I'm 50-50 Welsh and Hungarian.
Okay.
That makes me go hung.
Hungarian.
Barbie, you fed right into that one.
I did. Oh, right into it.
There's my dumb joke for the week.
That was good dumb joke of the day.
That's a good way to,
yeah. We're gonna have to ease that segment in because it comes in on every show. Okay, ease the segment into the dumb joke of the day for our comedian that wants to be. Well, we've had a great time. So before we have parting ways, any last questions y'all want to ask him, or anything you want to say, Diablo, that we have not asked you or that you wanted to tell us about?
Well, I got several other stories that I'll have to wait to another time.
That's right. You can come on back just because, this is our podcast. We get to do whatever we want. And if you got some other good stories, you've been a great guest. So, yeah.
Yeah. I'll come back and tell you some more.
I'd weigh in on this. I'd love to have you back, and we'll get the same panel. We'll get Steve, we'll get Barbie, and we're gonna all share our favorite Janet story.
I like the last 15 minutes. It's a job.
Oh, that comes from Barbie. That's Barbie right there. That's Barbie's line.
Yeah,
I like that
one.
Her favorite line is, what is it? That's enough licky licky. Do some sticky sticky.
That's right. I don't want you hovering down there. I got things to do.
He has by 1 degree of separation some Barbie stories that are Janet stories. So she's living through me. We're passing it down to the generation, except she's the same age as I am.
Yeah.
What I wish I'd have done is take some notes after every party, because there's always something happening and I can't remember all of them. I just remember a few.
And I think that's why this podcast works, because it's not really scripted. Y'all who listen, and you can obviously tell this is not really scripted. But what happens is you start telling a story just like you're sitting on the porch and somebody else goes, oh, yeah, that reminds me of XYZ. Oh, yeah, it reminds me of when that guy saw his mom catching the train.
Oh, that keeps coming up. That keeps coming up.
I met the guy. He's pretty cool. He used to come see us every so often. He moved to South America. He would come home and he'd come see us and spend the weekend with us. And he was pretty cool, except for his parents or his mama.
I don't know. So I'm not going to kink shame. What's wrong with her?
Well, nothing. I never did meet her, so I'd like to meet her.
Right. Because if her son's best friend was hot, what's the problem?
I don't see anything as long as it ain't my mama.
Right. Look at Roger kink shaming over there. I can see
I'm not shaming
at
all.
Right
I'm like,
now.
I needed better friends. I needed better friends.
Yeah. Because an older woman was always attracted to me they are now, but even when I was a teenager, for some reason, they were attracted to me.
That graduate thing, Mrs. Robinson thing.
Yep.
Oh, that's real.
Big. It's big. Yeah. I made a lot of money that way. I made a lot of money.
When I was 17,
with those youngins,
I was hooking up with a 40-year-old, and she wasn't a friend's. She was a mom, but not a friend's mom. And I've had a thing for older women for a longer time. That whole Stacy's mom, I was doing Stacy's mom before it was a song.
Right.
When I first got out of college and my first job, I get transferred to a big city, and my immediate supervisor was a lady that was 29 at the time. That was an older woman to me at the time, but I was just 21 or so.
Mm-hmm.
And I get out there on a Thursday, and she spends the night with me on Saturday night.
Oh,
so that was
yeah!
Welcome to the big city.
Yeah, I'm gonna like it here.
I think we've done enough talking for the day, for the episode. I want to thank everybody who's made it through to the end. If you, this is where I got to do some regular business. If you'd like to be a guest on the show, or you have questions for us, the best place to go is Beyond Monogamy Podcast. All one word together, smashed together, spell it right, beyondmonogamypodcast.com. You're going to find my email, Roger's email. Hopefully we'll get Barbie's up there soon. You can contact us. You can make comments on any of the podcast episodes because they're all up there. You can catch up. And you can also tip Mandingo, because Mandingo does this for free. He's a very good editor. He does a very good job with the show. He puts it all out. He's the one that makes sure that it gets out to all the places that you can listen to podcasts. But really the easiest way is to go to the website, beyondmonogamypodcast.com, and hopefully give us some love. Tell your friends on the down low. I know this is a hard show to listen to, because sometimes when your mom and dad are getting in the car, you don't want them to hear all the great stuff we're talking about, especially that mom's pulling a train. Okay.
Yeah.
That's like,
Unless you have that kind of relationship. Yeah.
yeah. So maybe you don't want to hear those things. And we understand, but if you could tell people and hopefully get a little bit more popular, and someday we may end up making dick dippers. Maybe we'll end up talking to you about slickums, and and
you'll have to remember what band was playing. I bet it was Tenacious D.
The mom jokes. The mom jokes continue.
Sorry, Janet. Finish.
That's okay. So to all your flies on your wall, I hope that you come back, and I hope that you come again, and come again, and come again.
That's it for this episode of Beyond Monogamy. We hope you enjoyed our podcast, and we look forward to having you back again for the next episode of Beyond Monogamy.